Okay, so you have a plan for hiking safety. You have PEAEAL already kind of on that assignment that you did on your editable document. And so now you have kind of the skeleton of a paragraph, but turning it into sentences is your next task. And so what I want you to do is pretend like I'm writing about school uniforms and have a plan here. So mine's argumentative, yours is just informative, but it's the same process. It's just instead of a topic, I'm writing to support a claim. So the claim says that I think students should not be required to wear uniforms. My point of this paragraph is because uniforms inhibit expression. And I've got source one says, and I've got some bullet points for my A. Is fun, learn to be individuals, self-expression, stress relief. I've got source three. And so I've got my Pearl paragraph all planned, but I can't just copy this on the paper. That won't make any sense. It would just be a bunch of bullet points. So we have to figure out how to turn this into this fully developed paragraph. And so you can see clearly that there's more text. You can see clearly that there are actually complete sentences. I would encourage you to perhaps pause this video and actually read that paragraph so you can hear the flow and you can kind of see the difference between the points on the plan and the sentences in the paragraph. So the good part is once you have your plan, you have all the ideas, you just have to transform them into sentences. For example, my point that says inhibits expression, I'm just going to add a couple words to make that a good sentence, like wearing uniforms inhibits a student's expression. So where my thoughts and my ideas are just kind of incomplete on my plan, I'm going to turn them into great sentences when I decide to write my paragraph. Now the evidence, you can't just copy. Like I've been saying, it's incomplete. It's not going to make sense. You have to introduce it. You want to transition into it. You want to make it sound like it belongs. So here's the plan, and look at my first piece of evidence. You see there it says, source one says many students use clothes to show their identity. Now I have to introduce that and make it sound like it belongs in my paragraph. I'm not just going to copy that. I'm going to maybe add some words. I'm going to maybe have some introductory words. For example, as noted in source one, an expert states that many students use clothes to show their identity. So I'm just taking that point and I'm turning it into a great sentence. And there's lots of ways to introduce evidence. Again, pause this, take a screenshot of that, jot some of those down, use them in your writing. Steal those as sentence starters so that you're not always saying, for example, or the article says, try to mix it up so that you have some different ways that you are presenting your evidence. The analysis is the most important part. You have to show that your ideas are the most important part, that they shine through the evidence, that really what you think makes up the bulk of the paragraph. And if you look at your plan, you probably just have some bullet points. I would always encourage you when you're in the planning phase to keep it simple with the analysis, because that's going to be time consuming if you sit there and try to write out all your thoughts. You just want to jot down the things you're thinking and turn them into great sentences later. But just like the evidence, you have to add your own words for it to make sense. You're going to hit all your bullet points, but you really should have at least 2 or 3 sentences for your A portion. So look at what I turned these bullet points into. Not only is it fun to determine your own look, teens are also learning to be individuals and forming what kind of people they will become. Appearance is a part of that. Expressing yourself can also be stress relieving because you feel comfortable and confident. Now notice that I hit each one of my bullet points, but instead of a list, it sounds like some nice flowing sentences. Again, feel free to pause, take a look, see the difference between what's on the plan and what ends up in the paragraph. This is the fully developed Pearl. It's the one you saw that was color-coded at the beginning, and this is all of the components put together. Use it as a model for yourself. You already have the point. I gave that to you in the document. and you already have ideas for the evidence from the sources and hopefully some ideas for your analysis on that plan. And now it's a matter of trying to transform it into sentences. Use this paragraph as a model. Go back through this presentation to take a look again if you need to. And then, of course, reach out to me if you want me to look at anything that you're working on and give you some feedback. I'll be doing that when you submit your final anyway. So please make sure that you ask any questions